every video and every case study I make sure that I give you a lot of strategies and frameworks. But today's video is special is because apart from the strategy and framework, I'm going to give you a new hope that no matter where you come from, what your background is, you can go ahead and become an amazing entrepreneur. Today we are talking about a brand which majority of Indians think it's an Indian brand. Our grandfathers, our fathers, and we, all the three generations have been using this brand. And like they say, how for automobiles, Tata is known. For the shoe market, this company is the king. Well, I'm talking about Bata. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and discuss about various strategies, various frameworks, various plans, how Bata turned opportunity into possibility, what was their pricing strategy, how did they move from standalone to acquiring new companies, and finally, how did they turn their philosophy into a vision. And in this video, I'm going to ask you to pause a couple of times and take those learning and understand that with your business. And it's critical is because if you've gone through my other video, which I'll give it on the link, it's not about just consuming this data. It's not about just getting this information. It's about using this information. And if you want to use it, when you learn it, you also need to reflect about it. You need to see how you're going to implement it and how you're going to share this knowledge with other people. So let's get started with some background about Bata as such. In 1920, Thomas J. Bata came to India and reached Kolkata. And when he reached there, he actually reached there to buy some rubber. So when he reached there, he realized that majority of the Indians are not wearing footwear. And to his surprise, he wondered why. And that's when he realized that leather was very expensive and not many people could actually afford for the shoes. And that very gap made him realize the opportunity that he has landed in. Now, if you remember the very famous example that people say about those two salesmen who went to a particular market, the first one said nobody wears shoes, so he came back saying there's no market, and the other salesman said nobody's wearing shoes, so we have a huge market and we can create a fortune here. I think that example is inspired by our hero here, Mr. Bata. It's because when he realized that nobody is wearing footwear, he realized how big can this market be. And from that very thought, he took Bata today. Today, Bata in India does about 3,000 crores of business. Bata in India operates close to about 1,500 shops. And guess how many footwears they make in a year in India? 50 million footwears. Not only this, Bata has a market share of 35%, which is huge. And the most important thing is that Bata has always made us feel that they are Indian. Okay, so I want you to pause the video for a few moments and think how and what kind of opportunity are you looking forward for? What is that one challenge which you see which you can turn it into a fortune? Well, most of the stories are rag to riches and Bata is no exception. Bata started with his production line in 2 BHK, 2-bedroom house with two machines to make the shoes with the money that he borrowed from his brother and sister. Can you believe that today Bata worldwide is one of the top manufacturers of the footwear? Bata has 5,300 stores worldwide. They are present in about 70 countries and in 18 countries they have their production line. Again, I have a question for you. If somebody would have told this to Bata when he was starting, that Bata business is going to be this big, he would have actually laughed. He would have said, I don't know. So stop dreaming too big and start acting today. So what I want you to do is, I want you to go ahead and see how can you use the challenges that you see, the problems that you see into a solution and into a market for yourself. Now, most of us say that to start a business, we don't have money, we don't have time, we don't have the right market, we don't have the experience, we don't have the product and this and that. Let me tell you that, people don't start business, and this is one line I love and I share with everyone. You don't start a business because you have money. You start a business because you need money. And in today's case study, I'm going to tell you how to move from rag to riches. So if you're ready, smile and let's get started. Number one, how did Mr. Bata turn this challenge into an opportunity? Now analyze this clearly. Those days, leather was very expensive in India. So even if Mr. Bata would have somehow borrowed money and made leather shoes, how many people would have bought it? Think. So it's lack of money is not always the problem. The problem is you got to look from the both sides. So Mr. Bata did a fantastic innovation, which I love about, is that he said, why should I make only leather shoes? I can go ahead and make shoes made out of cloth, which is going to be lighter, which is going to be cheaper, which can be manufactured easily. And that gave birth to the revolutionary product of canvas shoes. You remember we all wear it during our school time. That is where, that is how Bata actually invented the canvas shoe. Now the learning is that when you want to learn, you need to learn from the best. Now what happened was this. Very soon Bata started selling really well, and he realized that manually and the typical way of doing a business, doing the manufacturing is not going to work. And that's where he had heard about this revolution of mass production that happened in America. Now, like many of us, he could have said that I don't have so much of money to go to America, because those days it's going to be very expensive, right? So he could have said, oh, I don't have money to go to America, man. So let me just sit down. And it's not that somebody in America welcomed him saying, come, let's have a look at our production line. He took the courage, he took so-called the risk, right? He did that investment on himself. He went to America, he learned how do you do mass production, and then he came back and set up his mass production line in India, which became a revolution. Pause and think. How many times have you got an opportunity of investing something in your own self and you have not done it? So this is a good lesson for all of us. Now, Mr. Bata quickly realized that no customer should go back. Whoever comes to him, there has to be something for him. So the strategy that Mr. Bata used is called the product basket strategy. And listen to this carefully. What happens is you play around with three things. Like, Bata, let me take Bata's example. Bata said the first thing is variety. We are going to have variety of shoes for everyone. You're going to have cloth shoes, you're going to have rubber shoes, you're going to have leather shoes. So that way you have all the ranges covered. Then he said, we are not just going to cover for one age. You're going to cover it for kids, for infants, for boys and girls, for men and women, and also for the elderly people. And the last thing is, he said, we are a fashion company. So we will make sure that we have high-end, we have party wear, we have daily wear, we have office wear, and all kind of things. So when this product basket came up, there was something for everyone. And if you keenly realize, when you go to a Bata showroom, you will actually see that they have a huge variety of shoes, and the Bata salesman will actually tell you, sir, whatever you want, we have. The other strategy, that is the pricing strategy. Bata has innovated a pricing strategy, which today it's actually called as the Bata pricing, which is, if you have guessed it right, ending with 99. Which means if you go and want to buy a shoe or a sandal for 800 rupees, you will not see a 800 rupee sticker there. You will actually see 799. And why does that work? Is psychologically we believe that it's not 800, it's only 700 and odd. And that pricing strategy today, it's called the Bata pricing, and a lot of other businesses have adopted it. My business has also adopted it, and you can also go ahead and adopt it. Now, how do you turn your philosophy into vision? What is the vision of Bata? Bata's vision is to make great shoes accessible to everyone. Listen to this carefully. Such a profound statement. To make great shoes accessible to everyone. So when we talk about accessibility, there are two factors to it: the quality and the pricing. And in both these things, Bata, because they do this mass production, they are able to give out finest quality. You will see nobody complaining about Bata shoes. And the pricing, even upper middle class or lower middle class can easily afford Bata shoes. Now, how did they make their presence in India so well that most of us believe that Bata is an Indian brand? Tomorrow when you go out and meet a friend, just ask him, hey, like Tata is an Indian brand, Bata is also an Indian brand, right? And they'll be like, yeah, of course, Bata is an Indian brand. How did this happen? This is the magic of hyper-local. Now, this hyper-local is something that recently we've been talking too much in the businesses, but Bata adopted this years back. They became so hyper-local with India that Indians believe it is an Indian brand. And believe me when I say this, there is a metro station in Delhi which is called Bata Chowk. That's the power of it. Now, how did they do this? The strategy behind this is become so much into local culture that their advertisements, their emotions, their celebrations, everything will be about India. And recently, they did a Sone Pe Suhaga shot, which is they made their global CEO as an Indian. Do a little research about that and you'll love it, okay? Now, how did Bata expand so well? Bata's expansion also came through acquisitions. You got to understand what is acquisition and why do people do that? Why do companies do that? When you go ahead and completely buy out a company, it's called acquiring that company. Now, why do normally businesses do that? Number one, to kill the competition, to get new customers, to get into new markets for the growth. And similarly, if you look at Facebook, they acquired WhatsApp. Byju's recently acquired another big company called Akash. All this is happening in the world. And what did Bata do? Bata also started acquiring a lot of companies. If possible, I'll put a picture of that on the screen so that you can pause and have a look at it. And you will definitely recognize couple of brands there. Now, at the end of the video, I'm so inspired by this case study that when I was making my notes, I was actually confused to not know which point to delete and which point to tell you out. Is because it's a very, very inspiring story, right? So what I want you to think is, what is the vision of your life? What is the vision of your business? What is your philosophy about your business? What is the pricing strategy of your business? What are the products of your business? And most importantly, what is your get to marketing plan? All this you can get some essence from this case study of Bata. Okay, I also want you to go ahead and think, how can you hyper local your business, and most importantly, how can you make your customer feel that your company is actually his company? Right? With that little thing, guys, my name is Faheem Sait, and I keep building these case studies because I love educating India, and I love educating people about entrepreneurship. Stay tuned, and if you really like, the kind of research work, the kind of editing that happens, a lot of work goes into this video. So I would really appreciate if you can like the video, comment your learnings below, because it's going to help everyone. Share this video with other people, and make sure that you subscribe and let others subscribe to this beautiful channel, which helps.